everybody. Welcome to another episode of Retro Rasslin Re-Call. I'm the king of all wrestling media, Gene Jackson, joined by broadcast Bob Anderson. And Bob, tell us a little bit about what we're looking at and where it comes from.
We're joining the Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling promotion in Japan this evening. This is one of the more famous matches in the promotion. We're seeing Hayabusa take on Atsushi Onita in the exploding barbed wire cage match. We want to thank our good friend Brett over at Brett's FMW World here on YouTube. Brett is definitely the foremost source for FMW in America. He has a series of, I guess you'd call them podcasts, but they're video, like retrospectives, like from the beginning of FMW, even before the company was formed. He goes through and gives the history on everything FMW from the beginning of the company through the highs, the lows, through everything from the beginning of the company to the end of the company. There's multiple parts. They're very interesting. They're very well done. Brett's definitely got the highest video quality FMW stuff you'll find on YouTube, and we really appreciate him letting us use those for the series. So yeah, this match is a great example. Like, we're gonna sit here and talk over it, but like the explosions, like right before the big explosion, there is a siren going off. You watching it is going to show you some stuff, but like the atmosphere, you just can't get it without hearing some of it. So definitely go over to his channel and check stuff out. And if you find yourself interested in this stuff, like I said, his retrospective podcast series is freaking amazing and will give you all the information you could ever possibly want about the promotion.
Yeah, I've got some VHSs of FMW, and holy cow, the video quality on this blows that stuff away. I mean, this is top notch.
So Hayabusa is hands down my favorite Japanese wrestler of all time. I know there are people out there that love their Misawas and their Kawatas, and I'm not going to hold that against them, but Hayabusa always, just from the look to the work, has fascinated me. Like I said, this match is just Japanese sleaze death match at its best, but Hayabusa's dude I've always loved, and when it comes to sleazy, can't beat Onita, so...
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what era of Japanese wrestling you kind of came in on, or what style you lean towards, whether it's the strong style or like the quote unquote garbage wrestling, as some people call this deathmatch type wrestling over there. But I think Hayabusa definitely stands out. I was kind of shocked because, like, I initially saw some of his stuff that wasn't death matches per se. I just saw a lot of his high flying stuff. And
Right.
then I saw like this, and I was like, "Holy, like that's a whole nother level right there." But I mean, he's a high flyer, he's a deathmatch guy, he's super talented, and man, what a shame, the way his career ended. Of course, he always put me in mind of Sabu, who could actually work a lot, but not a knock on Sabu, but I just thought he was a lot crisper, a lot smoother worker than Sabu ever was. But maybe it's just the baggy pants and the body style. But he always kind of reminded me of Sabu, but an upgrade, if you will.
Most people's only exposure to Hayabusa was his one ECW appearance, and a lot of people have seen the J Cup. And
yeah,
like I said, we're definitely going to watch this match. I think the first two things we're going to cover from FMW are going to be death matches with him in it, but there's a lot of stuff. He had some great matches with Mike Awesome. He had some great matches with Masato Tanaka. I mean, after Onita retired, he was virtually the ace of the promotion. So there's a lot of stuff to watch. Onita, dear God, started wrestling in the 80s as a young boy in New Japan, and he's still wrestling today. So there's worlds of stuff to cover with him.
Yes, I have a signed picture of Onita hitting exploding barbed wire in my other room over there, and that was quite a get for me when I was able to add that to my collection. I was pretty excited.
Now, for those that don't know, Onita started the FMW promotion. It originally started as almost a semi-worked shoot promotion where he was fighting karate guys and all kind of stuff. Like I said, Brett's channel that we were plugging earlier knows a lot more about it, but there's some interesting early matches in FMW with Onita fighting like karate dudes and an early fake MMA style, and pretty interesting. One thing to note is the insane outfit on the referee in this match so that he doesn't get burned when the explosions go off. Looks like he's
That's
something
right.
out of outer space.
You will for the video game wrestling fans out there, you will recognize both Hayabusa and Onita as being on WCW versus the World, not under their actual names, but under assumed names. They both appear in outfits very similar to what they're wearing here. One of the things that I always liked about Onita, he toured Memphis early in his career when he was a young boy, as you mentioned, late 70s, early 80s. And he credits, bringing this hardcore style to Japan. He credits learning all that in Memphis and those wild, concession stand brawls and doing some of those over there with, some of the guys in the Memphis area. He took hardcore Memphis wrestling, which people, used to knock and call Tennessee garbage wrestling even back then, bringing it to Japan and taking it to, death defying levels that they never would have dreamed in Memphis.
Crazy the way things progress. I know Hayabusa's real last name is Izaki. He toured, I think he ended up in Florida, of all places, for his excursion. May have worked a few other places I should know, but I don't remember off the top of my head. And then, like I said, he ends up the ace of the promotion after Onita. Onita comes back multiple times. And then for people whose only exposure to exploding cage matches is AEW, well, this is going to be eye-opening for them.
Yes. This is the type of thing they were going for and missed the mark.
And this
terribly.
is, and in general, with today's, and this may end up with a lot of, are we swearing in this, Gene?
Yeah, we can, whatever. It's.
Okay.
I don't think the little kids are going to be checking out our FMW watch along. So.
Okay. This may end up with us shitting on modern death matches a lot, but since they have no tact and just immediately start rolling around in barbed wire and carpet strips and thumbtacks, you will see this has a lot of build toward these spots. Like, there's going to be so much of them getting so close to the cage, and if you go over and check this out with the sound on, you'll hear the fans just like the build toward it, just them going whoa, like as they get so close but never touch it until the last possible moment. And it adds so much to it. And like today, like I said, they just 30 seconds into the match, they're already bleeding from 17 places. And
and it just doesn't mean anything at that point. Like, the build is a huge part of it, and that's why I respect this deathmatch wrestling much more than I do any of the current stuff, is because they do build to a crescendo and it means something by the time they get there. And as you've mentioned, folks, definitely go over and check this out on Brett's site, because the sound is a big aspect of these matches, more so than, if you watched our Buddy Landale special, we appreciate it. We're going to be doing a lot more of that type of thing as well. But on these matches, it really does add to it. Like you said, the sirens and the crowd reaction. But it's just hard to hear us on these when you try to do it, what we're doing. But I definitely recommend going over and checking out not only this match, but as Bob was saying, a lot of those, history of FMW videos that he's got, and just a ton of great matches, and all in excellent video quality, just like this one.
Like the history stuff, like he does a lot of, those are in English, so there's a lot you can understand there. Like, these are all going to be with Japanese commentary, which I know is turn off for some people, but like, just go check out a few of them just for the atmosphere. Like I said, for this match especially, like right there, you'll hear the crowd like, whoa, like they're just, because they know it's coming. They know it's coming, but they're teasing him and building toward it, and it's wonderful.
And that's so smart, because, like, if they'd have locked up and Onita would have just flung him straight into the cage within the first minute, nothing they do after that means anything. But this anticipation that's building and building and building,
Exactly.
Now, had it been a fart in church payoff like the poor AEW one,
I felt terrible for those guys, but that wasn't their fault at all. Like, that was I hope whoever was supposed to set up those explosions got fired forever.
Yes, and browbeat and
Exactly.
given an epic Jim Cornette level cussing in the
Yes.
back.
Precisely. But and that's FMW is a lot like ECW in the point that like when it's talked about now, everybody's like, "Oh, it was just a bunch of idiots throwing themselves in barbed wire and hitting each other with chairs," and that's so close. That's not the case. I mean, there was a lot of fantastic wrestling. There was a lot of really, really talented workers. I mean, sure, there were your guys that were only there to throw themselves in barbed wire and cut themselves, but like Hayabusa is amazing, and we talked about Awesome and Tanaka, and while those guys were amazing hitting each other in the head with chairs 37 times, they both could put on fantastic matches without it. And not just those three, but there were several other really, really, really talented guys. And
Yeah, as we move through these episodes, I definitely in time want to get to some Masato Tanaka and Mike Awesome matches, and some of like Mike Awesome's matches with Hayabusa, and even the non-death matches. They were just so hard hitting. I mean, Mike Awesome is a guy who just does not get the credit he deserves for being a big man that could work the style that he worked. And good Lord, him and Tanaka just beat the hell out of each other in those matches. Just crazy bumps.
oh, there
Oh,
we go.
there we go. Look at the flames.
Right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, they didn't mess around when it came. They used way too much, but it looked amazing. But yeah, no, to your point, like Awesome is a guy that sadly is remembered for his horrible WCW gimmicks. And if Mike Awesome had been 3 inches taller, he would be remembered as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time because WWF and WCW would have pushed him to the moon and beyond. Oh,
Yeah.
there's the countdown clock. You know it's
So
coming.
so folks, if you don't know, I mean that timer is counting down to the ring exploding. And so
And like we mentioned earlier, when it hits 3 minutes, they put off a siren. And like it almost reminds me of the Purge siren if you've seen the movies. Like when that starts, like it keeps going for 3 minutes and it just builds in intensity. And like you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And like the wrestlers build with it. Like the moves get more desperate, the pinfall attempts get more desperate. And like I know I'm spoiling it, but since you can't hear it, and you just like I said, go watch this match with the sound. You've got to like if you've never seen it, you need to see it. And oh god, Onita is
look at
tore up.
Onita's arm.
No Kerry Von Erich blading by accident there. So
No, not at all. Mm,
yeah, work a little stiffer over there.
most definitely. And I've watched so much American modern death matches since I've watched. It's probably been 10, 15 years at least since I've watched any of this. I forgot how much better and how more how much more meticulous they were about things, and how they did kind of take their time and build things, and boy, do they lay it in. That's the thing. Like I say, not to just make this about shitting on modern death matches or American death matches, but like they'll hit each other with 10 phony looking weak punches and then break glass over each other. It's like one kind of cancels out the other.
Mm.
Like there we see another explosion.
And no, I'm absolutely not. Like I've worked several shows with Matt Tremont, and everything that man does looks 100% real. But I just, I don't know. I like these guys were making buku bucks over there to do this, and I just can't get behind these. Like you and I have talked about. Like I used to work for a company that was putting on great matches, and then slowly but surely they became a death match company, and it was hard for me to watch guys that I'd become friends with, maiming themselves for $25 in front of 17 people.
And that was always my gripe on these tournaments and these death match companies, where every show from match one to the main event was a death match, because they broke 20 light tubes in the opener, and used barbed wire and everything with guys who really weren't that talented, who were kind of like I was talking about a minute ago, hitting each other with weak punches and weak this and that. And by the time the talented guys like the Matt Tremonts or the Danny Havocks and different guys, by the time they come out there, those folks had seen so much good and bad. It was just anticlimactic, you know. It
Right.
was like, well, short of
Yeah.
killing each other, there's nothing left to see.
Right now they have to, chop each other's arms off with a chainsaw to get a pop. So.
Here we go. Scorpion.
And that's, these guys just at least, weren't maiming each other for the sake of maiming each other. He's trying to finish the match without, he wants to get out of there before the bombs go off. Like, that's the whole point. And he's working that one in there.
Yeah, he's got that one locked in. There's no
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
There's no that was no Rocky sharpshooter where he needed to put some ass into it. So
no, he was leaned back. He had that thing locked in as tight as you're going to get it.
The Landstorm. Oh, Jesus.
Folding poor Hayabusa in half. Even before the dreaded botched moonsault spot, Hayabusa's spine had its issues strictly from these Onita matches.
And if you've never seen the shooting star spot where he lands chin first on Mike Awesome's chest and then his feet touch the back of his head, we'll call that one at some point. But yeah, Hayabusa, I mean, his whole career, I mean, he had a plethora of injuries. And like I said, the one that ended his career is horrific, but he was never the biggest guy and he did stupid, crazy things. And it's unfortunate because, like I said, he was fun to watch and a hell of a worker, and that look was always amazing and fun to watch.
Absolutely, and it would have been, cool if he would have got a little run with either WWF and WCW and was able to make some big money in the States, because, like you said, he got a good bit of exposure just off the little bit of exposure he got from ECW. So had he gotten a WCW pay-per-view match or a WWF pay-per-view match at some point, it would have meant a lot towards
there
making
is
him
actually
some serious money.
A picture floating around of him in full outfit. I think it's a WCW Worldwide or somewhere. He was backstage. I forget. Jesus.
Good Lord.
But he was too concerned about being the ace up. So the siren would be starting if we had the sound on. But he was so concerned about being the ace of FMW. He never took. And I think he only took the ECW match because Shinzaki wanted to do it.
Right.
So, but like, this was another, like, the smoke here. I mean, it just makes, and then after, like I said, getting ahead of myself, after the explosions go off, I mean, this thing looks like freaking Thunderdome. Like, it's spectacular.
Yeah, it's like post-apocalyptic.
Yes, exactly.
Wrestling match. Oh, moonsault.
Beautiful. And another thing I always liked in this match, like Onita wearing the white wife beater, like you can see like the cuts on the front and the back, and it always made it just look a little better. I always like it when, when the guy wears white when he knows he's going to bleed all over himself.
Yeah, that's smart because most of these guys are prone to wearing black, and that white and blue definitely shows off the blood.
Returning the favor.
Woo! Now we go to schools. We're not gonna turn this into another Barry Nate session. If you want to hear that, check out the Buddy Landell episode 1 of the Rasslin Re-Call.
We're burying deathmatch wrestlers on this, not Flair. We did that last time.
We try to make it thematic. You just bury one or two groups at best.
Now, I do wonder where I can get an outfit like that referee. I need a shiny pleather trench coat.
Yeah, I think I definitely hate that they didn't pull that out for the AEW death match. See Rimsberg or um, what's his head we were talking about last night.
Oh,
The
Rick Knox dressed like
Rick
Dr. Brown
Knox.
and
I think he could pull that off perhaps better than any
maybe
of them.
dressed in an aluminum foil trench coat. Oh, here come the Thunder Fires.
Oh no. Mm. And that ring doesn't look like it's got a lot of give to it. I'm assuming that
Yeah, I'm gonna bet it's a little stiff.
that power bomb was not fun. Leaping DDT.
I always enjoyed Onita's like I'm just gonna swing out to the side and drop you straight on your face DDTs too. I think that was DDT 3 in No Mercy.
Yes. There we go.
Uh,
A little homage to TNT there, aka
I was gonna
Savio
say tell
Vega.
something. Oh, there
Oh,
we go. Oh, there goes the
holy.
ring.
Jeez, look at the poor people sitting by the ring.
I would say
It
the
looked
front
like one
row
of
is
those old
probably
videos
covered
where
in
they
speed.
showed the atomic bomb going off. You can see those people just get melted.
Like I said, this was how this was supposed to look in AEW,
God,
not like
yes.
sparklers. Onita covering up the ref, got to be the hero. So I always loved it.
Yes.
Like his hair is white because it's covered in dust and smoke everywhere. You can't see a damn thing.
And so, folks, if you wanted to know what Eddie Kingston was going for when he climbed on top of Moxley at the end of that match, this is the moment they were trying to recreate. But instead, it just felt very homoerotic and unnecessary. But
As the four sparklers went off on the turnbuckle.
choo, choo, pew, 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 pew. Like, wow,
As they
Eddie Kingston really likes Moxley.
as they recreated Gilbert's entrance, but
It looked like somebody to
yeah,
come spray him down with a hose or something. I mean, these guys look like that, but for a totally different reason.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And if you like, I mean, if you pay attention, like there are big chunks of explosive all over the canvas, like. And I like the sirens in the corner. Like it's just they made it look like something straight out of like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome here. And watch like when he hits the mat, there's just smoke and shit going
Good God.
everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm thinking about like, man, all that's going right into those open wounds. Like this was not
Into the open
sanitary in the
wounds,
least.
into the fans' lungs. Like, there's no way you could ever do anything close to this in America, even back
Oh no.
then. The referee was able to shed his nuclear fallout suit. So.
Oh no, that's a different referee. That
Oh,
referee's
it's a
still
different
laying on
ref.
the
The
mat.
other one's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, how'd he get in the cage? Did they drop him from the ceiling?
I'm not sure. Yeah, no, that referee's still laying over there dead on the mat. So. Onita's thinking about how much this
Oh,
bill's
there
going
he
to
is.
cost
Yeah.
for the building.
It's like, oh, this is better in theory.
Another Thunder Fire. Now here goes Hayabusa doing some crazy shit.
Oh, yeah. We're going right past the top rope to the top of the cage. Suck it, Snuka. We're doing a backflip. Oh.
Nothing like eating shit into a bunch of dirt and dust and bomb smoke while you have an open wound on your chest.
Yes. Get a mouthful of freaking dust and dirt. And
Yeah, I'm
God
sure he's
knows what
already having a
else.
hell of a time breathing through that mask. So he was like, hell with it, I'll power bomb him some more.
Yeah. Good
Right on his
gosh,
neck.
on the back of his head. Good Lord. What year is this? Is this 98?
95, I believe.
95? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
just for context, as this is happening over in America, 95, we got Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage taking on 12 heels in a triple cage of doom in WCW.
All right.
And Steve Austin's wrestling Savio Vega in a Caribbean strap match.
Yeah. I was
While
going to say, what? Didn't the Raw Bowl happen this year?
the Raw Bowl. It was not a stellar year, King of the Ring, Mabel. That about sums it up, I suppose.
I mean, ECW had a good 95, but That was about it.
Man, was that it that time?
I believe that was that third power bomb on the neck was going to be the one.
Look at his forehead, dude. All right. You can see the forehead of poor Onita. This ain't his first rodeo.
Yeah. He's up there with your Abbeys and your Brodies. That he's done this a couple times.
Yeah. Whew.
And those new scars on his arm are going to be lovely. And then the one on Hayabusa's chest will be prevalent for the rest of his career.
Yes. There you go.
And then Onita's nice, like, here, let me pour some water on your head. You'll feel better.
There you go. You'll be better when you're laying in mud here in a minute. Hayabusa's like, it better not be gasoline. Damn it.
As you can see, Hayabusa got his arm pretty tore up as well. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the more famous matches in FMW history, as their two aces went at it in the exploding barbed wire cage match.
Now, this is one of the issues I have with all deathmatch wrestling is, you get to the point of a barbed wire exploding cage match because, like, assume you want to kill each other and you're wishing death on the other guy, but then afterwards they're laid in the ring and they're hugging and they're pouring water on each other, and it's like, is it just a matter of one guy wins, so now it's all cool, we're over it? And
well, I think this one in particular was more about, Onita was the ace of the promotion, and he wanted to make sure that Hayabusa was worthy of taking his spot. So I don't know that there was necessarily a I hate you grudge in this one. I think the next one that we see will have more of that, but that's for next episode.
yeah, because if Terry Funk holds hands with anybody for over with, I'm going to be sorely disappointed. Oh.
Oh, Hayabusa's mask is off.
Oh. My goodness.
That happens frequently throughout his career, actually, so.
Yeah, it's always jarring. The couple of times I've seen it happen, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what are we doing? Like, all right. I don't let these other guys pick him up because this is going poorly. Like, you've whooped his ass worse trying to help him up than you did during the match. Hayabusa's like, I got it, man. Jesus Christ, this is as bad as the power bombs. You just gave me the Jeff Jarrett finish into the stuff 3 times now. The stroke.
You just had to bring up Jeff Jarrett, didn't you?
The man. I can't wait till we have our Jeff Jarrett 3-hour watch-along marathon.
Yeah, I'm sick that day.
So if you're watching over at BretFMW World, you could hear this promo from Onita right now.
Yes, if you speak Japanese, you'll be doing a lot better than us.
Saying, but
we are probably safe to stop this episode here, Gene, but we want to thank everybody for joining us. Hope you enjoyed FMW. And yes, please go check it out over on Brett's site. I think you'll get a big kick out of this match. Like I said, the explosions are something else to hear without us talking over them. And the siren, like I said, really adds a lot to it. And like I said, if you're interested in FMW at all, Brett's series detailing the history of the promotion is insanely well done. So give it a listen, and we'll be back soon with another episode. This one will have some more Hayabusa. It'll have some Terry Funk. Don't want to miss it.